Hello and welcome to Blue Team. I'm Peeve and today I figured I'd do something a little bit different. I've talked about Splinter Cell a few times on this channel, both in the Peeve and Cronny show and also in the franchises that I'd like to see brought back. So today I figured I'd go back and play a level from Blacklist just to see if the game's as good as I remember or if it's all nostalgia. Spoiler alert, it's actually as good as I remember. I haven't played Splinter Cell in maybe 5 or 6 years, so coming back to the game after such a long time is a little bit like visiting a place that I grew up in. And then moved away. Like, it's familiar, but then there's also quite a few things that seem different. I'm playing on an Xbox Series X using performance mode for back compatibility to kind of boost the frame rate up a little bit. So if there's any sort of frame stutters and stuff, that'll be why. So to start this video, let's get the negatives out of the way first. The controls felt a little bit clunky and weird. I don't remember them feeling this bad, but I definitely felt it going back to to play this now. The A button pretty much does everything. Like, it opens doors and you use it to jump and grab all the pipes and stuff. Yeah, it's just really kind of dated, I guess. Also, it's worth noting that the online functionality is about to be switched off for this game, so it won't allow you to play online co-op and stuff, although split screen should still be available, just in case you decide to pick up the game and give it a try having watched this video. So anyone that knows me will know that I used to play a lot of stealth games kind of growing up. I had games like Metal Gear Solid and Splinter Cell just kind of hardwired into me. I'm not sure why I always found them so fascinating, to be honest, but Splinter Cell Blacklist is kind of up there as one of the kind of better ones. This is a prime example of how to make a very, very good stealth game. And my kind of favourite key points of Splinter Cell was always the use of contrast between the light and the dark. I like that it's so functional with the little green light on his back, like when it's glowing really, really bright, that means that you're in the dark, you cannot be seen. But then when it starts to become like a dull colour, that means that you're visible completely, and that if anybody's kind of like looking in your general direction. That seems like quite a big step when you consider the Metal Gear Solid at the time, or I say at the time, when Metal Gear Solid kind of introduced those kind of stealth mechanics to games. They didn't use light and dark, they used a vision cone. Splinter Cell's just kind of added an additional layer to that. Also, the sort of acrobatics available to Sam Fisher with his ability to like climb on pipes and climb up and down ropes and stuff has also just made for a kind of more interesting gameplay. It kind of opens up the little hubs that you're kind of playing in to complete your objectives and makes them a lot more kind of, I don't know, free of choice. Like, free, you can make your own choices, you can move around and you can kind of attack the objectives in any way you want to. As you can see on the gameplay footage behind, I've got objectives completed 1, 2, 3. And I can do those in any order I want to. So yeah, the levels kind of flow in a certain direction to encourage you to go like one way, but also the level's fully playable in co-op, and there's options for like breaching doors and stuff that you can only do if you have 2 players. But I was obviously playing solo, so I couldn't take those routes. I had to take a different route. That creates some really, really interesting level dynamics, and it's something that we don't really see in any games. The stealth genre has just kind of disappeared. It's such a shame to see that it's disappeared, because it's one of these kind of like, it's kind of a niche, but also it's just kind of thrilling. Like, the idea of playing hide and seek as a child is one of these things that you just kind of, every child kind of just instinctively likes, and so to have that in like a video game format is really, really fun. For this playthrough, I kind of focused on trying to complete the level without getting seen at all and without eliminating anybody other than the high value target that was on top next to the lighthouse. But the game encourages you to play however you want to play, so you can go in and you can play with like taking out every single bad guy on the map. You can become like really, really loud and kind of assault everybody. You can change your loadout in the sort of menu section as well. So like, I'm playing with a full stealth kit with the idea of trying not to get seen, but I could have gone just as much in heavy armor and just kind of shot my way through, which I guess helps with the co-op aspect of the game as well. Like, you can play in different ways and different styles depending on who you're playing with and like what sort of game you're looking to play. That kind of dynamic and mechanic sort of changes within the game create for a much more interesting gameplay loop, I believe. anyway, because you get to play. Obviously, you're effectively buying like 2 games at once, maybe even 3, and adding different levels of challenge depending on what you want to do. So as well as having a difficulty selection, I was on normal, by the way. It goes right the way up to realistic. But as well as having that, you've also got the kind of additional challenge of like, could you complete it on stealth, could you complete it being stealth, having less stealth equipment? Like, I didn't use my sticky shockers or anything like that. All these sort of tools that they've given you to eliminate guards non-lethally, or maybe I want to play through and be as lethal as I want. There is an option to change your melee so that it's non-lethal or to make it lethal. There's no real negative or positive side effects of doing the two. It's just there and just an option for the player. The more options that they give the player, the more I'm going to be in favour of that, because that's what makes games great, is the ability to kind of play your way. I really, really appreciated sort of these things when I was younger, but now, like, seeing it in 2022, I appreciate it even more. This is so different than like kind of the modern games that we get. Maybe I've just been a bit jaded because I've been playing Halo Infinite a lot recently, and they don't like me to play in any way other than how 343 tells me to, with their stupid challenge system. But sorry, bit of a sidetrack there. But yeah, like, the game just plays really, really well. The mechanics for the stealth are just probably some of the best in class. It's such a shame that Ubisoft has dropped this franchise, because I really, really enjoy it, and I know that there's millions of other people out there that would really, really enjoy it. I think it's maybe time for the reboot. I want to see Sam Fisher come back, or even somebody else. I've seen that they made a book about Sarah Fisher, his daughter. And I'm happy if they want to continue the story and sort of do a spin-off, but I would probably go with a refresh and a recoating at this point, because not many people have played these games. Splinter Cell Blacklist came out in 2012, something like that. Don't quote me on that, although I'm probably right. So there is entire generations of players. That's 10 years ago. There is now 10-year-olds that are starting to play video games, and I'm not saying that Splinter Cell is designed for 10-year-olds, but to put that in perspective, there is 8-year-olds that are now 18. So they probably never played a Splinter Cell game. So I think it's really cool that we've got these kind of opportunities to play via back compatibility, but also let's just get new ones out. Let's give players something different and let them experience this stealth genre of games that used to be huge, and now you just don't really hear about it. You get the odd one, you get Hitman and stuff like that, but I guess there's no way of cramming microtransaction in there. So outside of doing the Hitman model of releasing like a free-to-play level and then selling you every other level at a premium cost, there's no real way to extend your monetization of the game. So maybe that's why we're not getting them. It's just such a shame. I get really, really upset when I think about the way that gaming's kind of gone, which is making me sound like I don't love gaming, and I do. I absolutely adore gaming, but I just wish that it wasn't kind of the way that it is now. Like, I understand that it has to be money focused, and things like Games Pass has kind of helped with that, because now I'm getting to play these games at no kind of entry level fees. So maybe when it comes to microtransactions, I'll just end up paying for them. I don't really care. But also, I don't have a problem with paying for microtransactions. I just have a problem with games that are built around them. Anyway, I've gone on completely off topic here. This is Splinter Cell Blacklist. I hope you've enjoyed the gameplay footage behind. If you have, and you've liked this sort of style of content, then let me know. Leave me a comment. Feel free to subscribe so that you can get more content coming soon. And I've been Peeve. You've been awesome. And until next time, I'll see you later.